All right, coming up next. Now, I kind of, had a spoiler alert earlier for our next speaker. And he's the president of an organization. Don't even act like you knew it was a thing, because you didn't until today. And now that you do, your world has been expanded. Thank you, you're welcome. Our next speaker is the president of the Liberal Gun Club of Arizona, Scott Pryor, because he says, and I agree, the Second Amendment was never meant to be partisan. The Bill of Rights is for everyone. All Americans, regardless of political affiliation, have the same rights guaranteed by our Constitution. Scott and I agree that we need to unite all pro-Second Amendment people from all political backgrounds to fight against the wrong-headed ideas of gun control. And praise God for the work that the Liberal Gun Club is doing, because who can speak louder to our Democratic politicians with their wrong-headed ideas than their very voter base who says we value our Second Amendment rights. All right, big round of applause for Scott Pryor.
Hello, everyone. Beautiful afternoon, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't get better than this. Last week we were raining, so here we go. Nice sunny skies. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why a person like me would be up here talking to you, and I can answer that question pretty quickly. But I want to set two things straight. Number one, I didn't vote for him. And number two, I didn't vote for her. Now, I'm not a partisan voter. I'm the type of person that wants to know who's going to represent me the best. I have voted for Republicans, Pinal County Supervisor Jeff Surdy, he's here somewhere, Sheriff Mark Lamb. Both of them are, I consider, good friends, and I believe that they can do the job to represent me, even though we may disagree on a few things. I grew up in the Panhandle of Texas. I was an Army brat, so I was born in Oregon, lived in Washington, lived in Bad Kitzigen, Germany, lived in Grand Prairie, Texas, and then moved finally to a place called Calfardes Boys Ranch up north of Amarillo. I handled my first firearm when I was 13. It was a 410 gauge shotgun, and we went hunting over Christmas break. And at the end of the Christmas break, I had my first experience shooting, 0 quail, 4 fence posts. So I called that a win. I graduated top of my class in 1986, went to West Texas State University, which is now West Texas A&M, received a Bachelor of Science, and I currently am in the water engineering department of the new TSMC plant north of the facility, of the city. I left the Democratic Party in 2017 because I got tired of looking at a platform that said, let's ban this. I don't agree with the idea that we call AR-15s assault rifles, because anything that you assault somebody with is an assault weapon. They disagreed, and I made a lot of enemies, so I left the party and became an independent voter and vote according to what my heart tells me and my mind tells me. I was treated badly by some of the people in the Democratic Party when I found out just how strongly I supported the Second Amendment, because I'm the type of person that thinks that every amendment to the Constitution needs to be supported equally. They only care about the first. I care that the second is meant to defend the first. So it makes a big difference. Why do we need to protect the Second Amendment? I mean, that's an easy question. A lot of people will tell you it's because we need to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. And I expand that just a little bit more because I believe it's more than that. Yes, we should do that, but also it's to protect ourselves. I want to protect myself, I want to protect my wife, I want to protect my family, and I can't wait for the police to show up. In Apache Junction where I live, you're talking 3 to 5 minutes of response time. I can deal with it in less than that and still come out alive, and that's what's important to me and my wife. I don't know if any of you heard of Robert Reams from Louisiana? No? He was a convicted felon, spent 20 years in prison for armed robbery, got out, carjacked a guy, crashed the car, took a shovel and a lug iron and broke into a woman's house. She shot him dead. The sheriff said that the case appears to be a homeowner exercising Second Amendment rights to protect herself and her children from a violent home invasion. That's why the Second Amendment is important to me, and that's why we have to protect it. Now, Representative Wynn was accurate when he said, what's going on in the buildings behind you is definitely going to affect the Second Amendment. One vote in that building, one vote in that building, and it's even. And those gun bills go straight to the governor, and you know she'll sign them. So we have to really, really be stressful to both our Republican and Democratic representatives that we don't believe in that, and that they are supposed to represent all of us. Right now here in Arizona, he killed all those bills. That was a great thing. But I will disagree with him on one point. And sorry, Representative Wynn, I disagree with you. Do you guys remember the Safer Communities Act that was signed last year, the first piece of gun legislation in 20, 30 years? 15 Republican senators and 14 Republican House members signed that bill as a yes. So, it's great to vote for people that support the Second Amendment, but don't always assume it's going to be a Republican. We know that gun control doesn't work. Look at California. Top 3 states for gun control. They just had 2 mass shootings, none of which was with an assault rifle. Okay, how did that happen? Well, because criminals don't follow the law. Here in Arizona, Heath Daniels killed a man named Jose Ramirez. He was a felon and he had a gun. Ursuline Robert Mayo killed his wife. He was a felon. He had a gun. They don't go through a background check to get their guns. They go to the guy on the street. More laws is not going to stop that. So the big thing we need to concentrate in is to make changes in the way we all interact, left and right and center, so we make ourselves more powerful by coming together as a group as opposed to factions. Whoops, I almost knocked that over. So we got to figure out how to unite that. And if you look on people online, they are constantly just going at each other. It seems like that is the new social thing where everybody just has to own the other side online. Well, let's change that up. Let's not own the other side on the other side of the aisle. Let's work together. We need to support 2A business and organizations. That's been said already up here today, and it's very important to do that. My sponsor, almost every single gun I've bought in the past 5-10 years, except for the one on my hip right now, I bought there at AJI Sporting Goods. Because he's my friend. It's a family-owned business. We need to support that. In kind of an odd shot, we need to elect 2A Democrats. We've got districts here in Arizona that are heavy-leaning Democratic. Well, if we don't support the 2A Democrats, it's just going to be what we're seeing now. We have to change the public view of gun ownership. If you look at TV, all you see is negatives. The CDC removed all of its defensive handgun information and statistics off their website, because it doesn't follow and portray what they want us to know. So we need to start countering the negative news stories with positive news stories, online, however you can. We need to create more gun owners, and one of the ways to do that is by competition shooting. Now, I don't know if any of you noticed that there is, in the Olympics, 15 shooting events in the summer games and 11 events in the winter games, but you never see those on TV. You don't see anything like that about guns on TV because it doesn't fit the narrative of those that want to control it. So we need to try to find a way to do that. So my idea, kind of, is that when people post something like, why do you need an AR-15? Well, go online, get a video link to somebody that shoots in competition shooters, and then post that link. Don't comment, just post that link. And that way they can see a really good reason and safe reason and law-abiding reason why the AR-15 is necessary. We have to work together, folks. It's not a left, it's not a right, it's not a center. It's an American issue. And as Americans, regardless of political party, we have to actually follow through and come together. Thank you very much.